Hey guys, so I'm back again with another gear talk, and this time I'm talking graphite iron shafts. I've already discussed steel in another video, and this time I'm going to specifically address graphite iron shafts, some misconceptions and where they come from, and the actual truth from a fitting and from a club building perspective. Now, the first misconception is the fact that graphite is only for slower swing speeds. This misconception comes from the fact that years ago, typically on the wall at your pro shop or your big box store, you are only ever going to see graphite in that 70 to 60 gram weight range in A flex or senior flex or ladies flex, or in a lot of junior clubs, obviously. Now, the reason they did that was because you couldn't make a steel golf shaft that light that had the strength needed to reduce breakage. So a lot of times you'd hear, oh, I swing too fast, I don't need graphite. Well, I hate to burst your bubble nowadays, but Brandt Snedeker swings pretty fast, and he's using graphite. So are a lot of other players on the PGA Tour. It's not just designed for those slower swing speeds anymore because of the material advantage that you get with graphite. And if you think about it, the club you want to hit the longest and straightest is your driver, and unless you're playing equipment that's 25 years old, you're using a graphite golf shaft that weighs anywhere from 60 to 70 grams. So how could a 80 gram golf shaft that's much shorter not give you even higher strength? So if you are a faster player, you can get that same stability in a graphite shaft that you couldn't get in an 80 gram steel golf shaft. The idea as well that graphite shafts are weaker is not the case. Again, they don't make supercars out of steel for a reason. It's because carbon fiber, although much more expensive, similar to graphite, is the fact that it is much stronger than its steel counterpart, especially to weight. It's a higher strength to weight ratio. And that's through engineering and through the way they actually weave the graphite fibers, those carbon fibers, together and cook them or bake them into that shape. That's what creates the strength. You can have a very soft 60 gram graphite shaft, or you can have a very, very stiff 60 gram graphite shaft because of the materials and the way those materials are used in the final design. Now, last but not least, the idea that graphite is less accurate. And we can go back to that driver analogy. You try and hit it the furthest and straightest. How would it not be less accurate? It used to be the idea that because graphite, especially in those older days, was higher torque, it would create less accuracy. And torque has nothing to do with accuracy. It is a factor, but it is not the single factor that affects it. First of all, it's your golf swing. But torque can be designed to be higher or lower, depending on the overall bend profile of the golf shaft. So for you, when you go into a fitting, don't think the fact that, oh, well, I'm not going to be as accurate because it's graphite. It's not the case at all. If anything, it's just as, if not more accurate than a steel golf shaft, and the end factor is always going to be your golf swing. Now, from a build perspective, graphite offers some unique challenges. One is a lot of graphite shafts only come in parallel. Now, depending on the weight, an experienced club builder can very easily sand the tip of a graphite shaft down to fit into a taper head without reaming it out. A lot of people worry about that, but to be honest, that's what the factories are doing when they're making these golf shafts. They come out, they're probably a little bigger, they're sanding the outside, and they're going to get them down to where they're going to need to fit into a tapered club head. If you are reaming, you can use parallel, and that's no problem at all. But don't be afraid, if you have an experienced builder or you are an experienced builder, to just give that little bit extra off the bottom, because you're only really taking about the ½ inch off the bottom where it's really tapering down, and you're not taking off that much material. The other thing you have to consider is the head weight. With graphite or any lightweight steel shaft too, anytime you remove weight from the middle of the golf shaft, swing weight is going to go down if you keep the club head weight the same. So when you're building with graphite, what you have to do is adjust. Now, this was an old fitting demo club, and you can see there's lead tape on it. I could only get so much weight in the hosel, and you never want to have anything past inside the golf shaft past the top of the hosel. This can create a weak spot, and can really increase your risk of breakage. The other thing you never, ever, 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 can't stress this enough, ever want to do with a graphite shaft is the old weight tungsten powder or lead powder down the golf shaft and cork it. Don't do it. The inside diameter is a lot smaller than steel. You're going to you're really risking breakage when you're doing that, because you're going to get all that material above the hosel and it's creating a weak spot. Plus, when you're trying to ram something down the inside of a golf shaft, you could actually be kind of scratching that inside. Don't do it. Use the proper tip weights, or, although it's not quite as pretty, use some lead tape. I know a lot of people don't like using it, but it's not a big deal. It's really easily available, and you can fine-tune your swing weight really quickly. And then you're done. If you have any questions like this, or anything about technology, club building, any aspects of the golf club as far as grips, shafts, down to the ferrule, tip weights, or club head design, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. I really appreciate you watching. If you like the video, subscribe to my channel, like this. I'm happy to answer questions. Please comment. Thanks so much for watching.